Your mindset shapes your financial success. Negative thinking leads to failure, while positive thinking opens doors to opportunities. This is a powerful truth that many overlook or underestimate. When it comes to your financial life, the thoughts and beliefs you hold about money can either propel you forward or keep you stuck. Negative thinking, especially when it comes to finances, can create a cycle of scarcity and limitation, while positive thinking can shift your perspective and allow you to see the endless possibilities that exist for financial growth. It's easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking. We live in a world that often emphasizes scarcity. There's not enough money, there's not enough time, there's not enough opportunity. People are quick to point out the barriers and limitations in life. They talk about how hard it is to get ahead financially, how the rich stay rich while the poor stay poor, and how it's nearly impossible to break free from financial struggles. When you hear this constantly, it becomes easy to adopt those beliefs as your own. And once you start thinking this way, it affects your actions. You begin to feel stuck, incapable, and even defeated. If you believe there isn't enough money, then you'll find it hard to ever make more money. If you think financial freedom is reserved for others, you'll never believe it's possible for you. But here's the thing, your financial success starts with your thoughts. The way you think about money, whether you see it as something abundant or something scarce, will determine your financial reality. If you continuously focus on what you don't have, you're reinforcing scarcity. If you tell yourself that money is hard to come by, that it's out of your reach, then you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your thoughts will lead you to actions that align with that belief, and those actions will bring about the results you expect. It's a cycle that feeds itself, and it can be incredibly hard to break out of once you're in it. But the good news is you have the power to change your thinking. Positive thinking is about shifting your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you start to focus on what's possible. You begin to see opportunities where others see problems. You start to believe that there is enough money, enough opportunities, and enough room for you to succeed financially. This shift doesn't mean you ignore the challenges or the realities of life. It simply means you choose to see things through a lens of growth and potential rather than fear and scarcity. When you think positively about money, you become open to new ideas, strategies, and ways of making money. You start to look at financial setbacks not as failures, but as learning experiences that can help you grow. You realize that mistakes are part of the process, and each mistake brings valuable lessons that can lead to better financial decisions in the future. Positive thinking enables you to take risks, to put yourself out there and to try new things, whether it's investing in something new, starting a business, or simply taking charge of your financial health. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start creating opportunities with what you have. A positive mindset also allows you to recognize and take advantage of the opportunities that already exist around you. When you believe there's abundance, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. You stop focusing solely on the scarcity of resources and start focusing on how you can make the most of what you have. This is the difference between a mindset that is focused on lack versus one that is focused on growth. People who think positively about money tend to find ways to generate income because they see the potential in every situation. They network, learn new skills, and pursue opportunities that others might dismiss because they believe that abundance is out there, waiting to be seized. Moreover, positive thinking encourages persistence. It gives you the mental fortitude to continue working toward your financial goals, even when things aren't going as planned. The road to financial success is not always a straight path. There will be challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. But with a positive mindset, you view these as temporary hurdles, not permanent roadblocks. You know that success is built over time, and that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Positive thinkers are more resilient because they understand that failure is not a reflection of their ability. It's just a part of the process. It's an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again. In the end, your thoughts about money create your reality. If you constantly think in terms of what you can't do, what you don't have, and what's impossible, then that's what you'll attract. But if you change your thinking to focus on abundance, opportunities, and possibilities, you'll start to see the world through a different lens. Positive thinking opens doors to a future full of potential and success, while negative thinking keeps those doors shut. The choice is yours. Think negatively, and you'll likely stay stuck in your current financial situation. Think positively, and you'll open the door to new opportunities and a future filled with growth and financial freedom. Poverty doesn't just happen by accident. It starts as a seed in the mind, long before it ever shows up in your bank account. The way you think about money, opportunity, and your own potential determines the financial reality you create. If you believe that wealth is only for the lucky or the privileged, you've already set a ceiling on what you can achieve. But if you recognize that financial struggle is often rooted in mental limitations, you can begin to break free from them. The truth is, your circumstances don't define your future, your mindset does. Many people assume that their financial struggles are purely the result of external factors, the economy, their upbringing, or a lack of resources. But while those things may play a role, they are not the deciding factor. The real difference between those who rise above financial hardship and those who stay trapped in it is their belief system. If you're convinced that money is scarce, that success is out of reach, or that you don't deserve abundance, your actions or inaction will reflect that. You'll hesitate to invest in yourself, shy away from opportunities, and settle for less than you're capable of earning. On the other hand, if you train your mind to see possibility instead of lack, you'll start making different choices, choices that lead to growth, leverage, and ultimately financial freedom. Think about it. Every wealthy person at some point had to make a decision to think differently. They had to reject the idea that money was hard to come by or that their background determined their future. Instead, they adopted a mindset of resourcefulness, discipline, and expectation. They didn't just hope for wealth, they believed in it, planned for it, and acted accordingly. That's why you'll often hear self-made millionaires say things like, "My biggest obstacle was my own thinking," because once they change their mindset, everything else follows. This isn't just motivational talk, it's a psychological and practical reality. Your brain operates like a filter, highlighting what you focus on most. If you dwell on lack, you'll notice every financial setback, every bill, every reason why you can't. But if you focus on opportunity, you'll start seeing solutions, creative ways to earn more, and strategies to build wealth. The world doesn't change your perception of it, does. And that shift in perception is what allows you to take the necessary steps toward financial success. So if you want to change your financial situation, start by examining your beliefs about money. Are they serving you or holding you back? Do you see yourself as someone who struggles forever, or as someone who is capable of creating abundance? Because until you change your thinking, no amount of hard work will lead to lasting prosperity. Wealth isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process, and that transformation begins in the mind. The human mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. Most people don't realize they've been unconsciously planting weeds of limitation their whole lives, then wonder why their financial garden is overgrown with struggle. Reprogramming your thinking isn't about positive affirmations or wishful dreaming. It's the deliberate process of uprooting toxic financial beliefs and cultivating an entirely new landscape of possibility. Every dollar you earn or lose first passes through the filter of your mindset. Consider how most people approach money. I can't afford this. Money's hard to come by. Rich people are greedy. These aren't just passing thoughts. They're deeply embedded scripts running in the background of your mind, directing your financial decisions without your conscious awareness. The moment you decide to challenge these assumptions is the moment you begin rewriting your financial destiny. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about recognizing that between every financial problem and solution lies your mindset, and that's where the real work begins. The process starts with awareness. Catch yourself every time a limiting financial thought arises. When you hear yourself thinking, "I'll never get out of debt," pause and ask, is this absolutely true, or is this just a mental habit I've picked up over the years? Then consciously replace it with, what steps could I take today to improve my financial situation? This simple act of redirection begins to create new neural pathways. Over time, your brain will automatically start searching for solutions rather than reinforcing problems. Surround yourself with new mental input. Just as you can't expect to get physically fit by eating junk food, you can't develop a wealth mindset by consuming fear-based financial news or spending time with people who reinforce scarcity thinking. Immerse yourself in books, podcasts, and conversations that expand your understanding of what's financially possible. Study how people who started with less than you created abundance. Their stories aren't miracles, they're blueprints. Develop the habit of financial self-talk. Before bed and upon waking, speak to yourself about money the way a wise mentor would. Opportunities to create value are everywhere. I am capable of managing increasing amounts of money wisely. My income grows as I expand my skills and value to others. These statements aren't magic, they're mental conditioning. They prepare your mind to recognize and act on opportunities others miss. Take action from your new mindset. Thinking alone won't change your bank account, but right thinking leads to right action. As your mindset shifts, you'll naturally begin making different choices, negotiating better, investing smarter, creating additional income streams. These actions then reinforce your new beliefs, creating an upward spiral of financial growth. The transformation happens gradually, then suddenly. One day you'll look back and realize you've become someone who thinks and earns differently. The most powerful financial tool isn't your credit score or investment portfolio, it's your mind. Master that and everything else follows. Wealth isn't about what you have, it's about who you become in the process of creating it. And that transformation begins between your ears. Your mind is the command center of your financial destiny. It either becomes your greatest asset or your most expensive liability. Guarding it isn't about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's about strategic defense and disciplined cultivation. Every dollar you'll ever earn must first pass through the filter of your mindset, which means every thought you entertain about money is either building your fortune or quietly eroding it. The wealthy understand this truth instinctively. They don't just manage their money, they meticulously manage what enters their mental space. Consider how most people treat their minds. They consume endless hours of fear-based financial news, engage in conversations saturated with scarcity, and entertain self-doubt like uninvited house guests. Then they wonder why financial breakthroughs remain elusive. This isn't just negligence, it's self-sabotage. Your mind absorbs everything it's exposed to, much like a sponge absorbs water. The difference between those who thrive financially and those who struggle often comes down to one critical discipline, the conscious filtering of mental input. The first line of defense is your environment. You wouldn't plant an orchid in a room full of smoke and expect it to flourish, yet many people expect their financial mindset to thrive in toxic environments. Audit your surroundings. Are the people you spend time with constantly complaining about money or celebrating opportunities? Do your daily media consumption habits focus on economic disasters or financial empowerment? Environment shapes mindset far more than willpower ever could. You must become ruthless about curating influences that pull you toward abundance rather than drag you into lack. Language is your second battleground. The words you use about money, both aloud and in your private thoughts, act as financial self-programming. Phrases like, "I'm broke," "I can't afford it," or "money is tight," aren't just descriptions, they're declarations that reinforce limitation. The financially disciplined replace these with strategic questions. How can I create the means? What value can I provide to earn more? Which expenses can I reallocate to build wealth? This shift in vocabulary changes how your brain processes financial challenges, from dead-end statements to solution-oriented thinking. Your mental rituals form the third pillar of protection. Just as elite athletes have pre-game routines, financially successful people have daily mindset practices. This might include morning visualization of financial goals, evening reviews of productive money decisions, or scheduled financial mindset hours where they consume educational content instead of entertainment. These rituals create mental speed bumps that prevent autopilot scarcity thinking from taking over. Over time, these disciplined practices compound, much like interest in a savings account. Except the returns come in clarity, opportunity recognition, and financial courage. The final guardrail is your tolerance for discomfort. Financial growth requires stretching beyond familiar mental boundaries. When you first start rejecting lack-based thinking, it will feel unnatural, like wearing a new suit that hasn't yet conformed to your shape. This discomfort is the price of admission to a new financial reality. The people who build lasting wealth aren't those who never doubt themselves. They're the ones who move forward despite the doubt, allowing action to reshape their mindset rather than waiting for perfect confidence to appear. Every financial decision you make today is being directed by the mental framework you've built over years. But that framework isn't fixed. It can be torn down and rebuilt, brick by intentional brick. The question isn't whether you can afford to guard your mind, it's whether you can afford not to. Your financial future isn't waiting to happen to you, it's waiting to be built by you, starting with what you choose to let pass the gates of your mind today. The battle between negative and positive thinking isn't just a philosophical debate, it's the deciding factor in your financial destiny. What you think about money, opportunity, and your own potential doesn't just influence your decisions, it creates your reality. Poverty begins as a mindset before it ever shows up in your bank account, just as wealth first takes root in your beliefs before it materializes in your life. But here's the empowering truth. You are not stuck with the financial mindset you have today. Just as a gardener can uproot weeds and plant new seeds, you can dismantle limiting beliefs and reprogram your thinking for abundance. It starts with guarding your mind like the priceless asset it is, filtering out scarcity, surrounding yourself with growth, and disciplining your thoughts to work for you, not against you. Money flows where mindset goes. If you want to change your financial situation, you must first change your mind. Stop letting old thoughts dictate your future. Stop allowing fear to veto your potential. The world doesn't decide your financial fate, you do. So choose your thoughts carefully, because they are the architects of your tomorrow. The question isn't, can you afford to think bigger? The real question is, can you afford not to? Your financial future isn't written in the stars, it's written in your mind, and the pen is in your hands. Start writing a new story today.